am traveling right now from Poulsbo to Silverdale, and you know, obviously the weather's not great today. I mentioned earlier that it's about a 10-minute drive, and that's, you know, fairly accurate. And of course the hospital, the Harrison, the new hospital, is in the heart of Silverdale. And so I just wanted you to see what the highway looks like out here. Again, I'm not positive if you have or haven't been out in the area, but I just wanted to give you a little peek at what the highway looks like.
Is your home for breaking news.
All right, Keyport Naval Base, you know, again, the whole area has a large military community, and we have kind of in the triangle, the middle of the triangle being Silverdale, Bangor, the submarine base, of course Keyport, the underwater warfare center, and then to the south would be the Bremerton shipyard and naval base where the carriers are at. And a big chunk of our population, of course, are affiliated in some way or another with the Navy here. All right, I'm just now approaching the Silverdale exit 303, and that's the exit we would take to get into Silverdale. Harrison, of course, is there in Silverdale, the new hospital that's being built. And 303 is the direction we're going to go to get towards the homes on Highgarden. And then I'm going to circle back into Silverdale and show you the house on Mountain Air. So we're taking that exit into Silverdale, 303, and then into Silverdale exit. If we went right at this light, we would head kind of into town, but interestingly, it does circle around. And if we took Highway 303 to the left, and we came off the very next exit, which would be Ridgetop, we would get to the hospital, which is right there. Okay, again, there's the hospital, and we're on Highway 303, and we're going to pass the Ridgetop exit. I'm going to explain to you, it's a little funky getting up to Highgarden, and so I want to kind of explain it to you. So you would take Highway 303, and you're actually going to pass Nels Nelson Road, which is the road that you would take to get into the neighborhood River Run, where Highgarden is. So what you have to do coming from Silverdale is you're going to have to go up to the next exit, not Ridgetop, but Central Valley Road, and then you have to loop around and come back onto this highway, and then you can get into the street that gets you into the neighborhood. And then getting out, you have to come all the way, you can only exit one way, so you'll have to come all the way back, exit Ridgetop, and then loop back around to get back on Highway 303 to head into Bremerton. Okay, and the reason you have to loop around is you can see there's a median here. So there's no way to cross over the highway. I wonder if someday they don't intend to put a road through off to Ridgetop. But the neighborhood we're going to be looking at is back behind those trees, and you can see there's a median here. So essentially what we have to do is we're going to get off at Central Valley Road, and then we're going to go over the overpass, and then we're going to turn in onto Nels Nelson. So I'm taking the exit right now, Central Valley Road. This is in order to get to that brand new neighborhood. The house is on Highgarden. And so what I would do is go this route. If I were going to Bremerton rather than getting on the highway, I would probably come out a different way, and I'm going to explain that to you when I leave the neighborhood. But in order to get to Nels Nelson, this is the route we have to take. So we got off the highway, we're going on the overpass, we're going to get back on the highway, and then we're going to exit Nels Nelson. Okay, get back on the highway, and Nels Nelson is not going to be that far up here, okay? So getting on the highway, and very shortly you're going to see on the right hand side, you can also see the median, why we can't cut across, which it's be impossible to cut across anyways because this road gets a decent amount of traffic. Okay, so this is the way we would go in. To leave, you're going to have to turn right, flip around, and then go south towards Bremerton. Okay, I do want to show you here off of Mahogany, there is a mobile home community. It's, you know, decent shape. Nothing terribly exciting to... All right, so now we're going to turn onto King's Landing. I don't think they've released any of these lots yet. I believe these lots are going to be, you know, later down the road. So I believe they're starting at the front of the community, you know, from 1 and up, and then they will go to these lower lots. All right, so here's the retention pond area, and then you can get a good idea of the slope of the community. So lot 23, lot 22, lot 21. So I'm going to get out and just walk the lot so you can get a good sense of this. Okay, these lower lots here are in the, you know, lot 50, etc. Glad I'm driving a Subaru. Gonna chug through the mud here. But I want you to have a good understanding also of what has been built so far in this neighborhood. Okay, so it's going to stretch pretty far back here. I'm going to flip around and then I'm going to come up the other side, okay? I just wanted you to get a good idea of the area and, you know, what's going on here. Again, I don't think of it as a bad area. I just want you to be fully aware when you're writing an offer on something without seeing the area in person. I think it's super important to understand what you're getting yourself into. Okay, lot 21 from this stake is going to go to the left. And then I'm going to walk across this way so you can see the other stake. So lot 22, okay? And we'll go ahead and walk back. You know, it's a decent lot depth-wise. And then I think Christina may have explained that hopefully there'll be some type of retaining wall in this back area because there's a significant slope going down to the neighborhood below you. Okay, so that is lot 21. So yeah, I would say it's a decent size lot. It is not flat. It slopes to the east, slopes down to the east. Something I like across from lot 21 is what I believe is going to be guest parking or additional parking, overflow parking. So that's nice. A lot of neighborhoods like these have very narrow roads, and so they are not allowed to have street parking, and because of the width for fire truck services, emergency services. And so many don't put in overflow parking. So it's nice to see this overflow parking here. Okay, so as we come down the hill, lot 12, where the models are going to be. So you can see there's some grading going along here. So here is lot 12. And it is towards the front of the community, but honestly, that road is not a busy road. So I wouldn't consider this to be something to be concerned with unless you're worried about the lot size itself. I'd be tempted to want to get into, I'd probably be less concerned with the lot size than how soon it will be finished. I'd be tempted to want to get into the front part of the neighborhood, those that are going to be done sooner, if we are able to get them to allow us to buy the model home. Okay, leaving the area now. So I want to again just remind you that living in this section of Nels Nelson requires a little interesting finagle on the access to this road, and it's just because there's a median in the middle of the highway, Highway 303. So if you needed to head towards Bremerton, you actually have to go in the opposite direction, exit, kind of do a U-turn, and then come back. Now, eventually when the hospital moves to Silverdale, this won't be an issue getting to work, but when you come home, you have to go back and take that Central Valley Road exit.